What's happening, everybody? Welcome back to the TV Toycast YouTube channel. Today we are unboxing the NECA House of a Thousand Corpses Captain Spaulding. Very excited about this one. My first NECA figure for the channel, if you're keeping score at home. And a movie I just actually recently watched for the first time. I've said before, I think I've even said it on here, I've always wanted to dive into NECA horror, and I just never have. And I don't really have a reason why, other than maybe some other stuff struck my fancy a little bit more at the time. But, you know, NECA, from the Universal Monsters, Frankenstein, the Wolfman, Dracula, the Creature, I always thought those were really cool. And then you got like your new age, you know, characters, the Freddy Kruegers, the Michael Myers, you know, Leatherface, Jason Voorhees. Those are always fun. And then, you know, there's some random guys like John Carver from that new Thanksgiving movie. And then we saw at Toy Fair they're doing Terrifier, Art the Clown. And then, of course, you know, Captain Spaulding. So a lot of fun characters. My watch just clicked on the movie Thanksgiving. I'm like, no, I'm not trying to look something up. I'm trying to do a YouTube video, people. Come on, what are we doing here? But NECA kind of has their hands in everything. But then at the same time, they'll also do like dinosaurs and Sesame Street and Alf. So you never know what you're going to get with NECA, which I think is kind of what keeps it fun. And I was real big into NECA. A few years back, I was really big into the Ninja Turtles. I've kind of moved past those and went more into Super 7, just because I was telling myself I can't buy all of this. It's just too much. But Captain Spaulding looked like a perfect way to start this out. So I'm looking forward to dive into this. And as I can hopefully get it unboxed here pretty easily. We'll see. We'll take a look at the back of the packaging. Very, very cool here. Museum of Monsters and Madmen. Like I said, I just actually watched this the other day. And a big reason was I was like, I don't want to go on this YouTube channel and unbox all of these horror characters without actually seeing the movie, because I feel like an idiot. And so I was on Tubi. I don't know if you guys use Tubi or not. Cheap plug for Tubi. They have a ton of horror movies on there. And I went kind of like down this rabbit hole of different stuff. So I watched House of a Thousand Corpses. I remember when this came out, I was in high school. Because I want to say this came out in like '03. It could be off by a year or so, but I want to say it was around that time. And it was almost like banned or something. Like it wasn't going to be played in any theaters. And so it seemed like this like unbelievably crazy movie that you couldn't watch. And after watching it, I don't want to say I was disappointed. It just wasn't. It wasn't really. I mean, it was a pretty wild movie. Don't get me wrong, but it wasn't like what I was expecting. And so I don't know if that was just hype that they were trying to create for the movie. That's pretty cool. Pretty cool background there. If you wanted to set that up, definitely dark. But I think, you know, looking at it now, I'm like, that was probably just some hype they were trying to create for the movie. Like, oh my gosh, this movie's banned. You're never going to be able to watch it in the, you know, in a theater and blah, 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 blah. And, you know, I must say, if that's what they were doing, props to them. Because not a bad plan, quite frankly. But we got to get Captain Spaulding out of here, hopefully. I don't think this is technically an ultimate figure, because it doesn't look like it's got a ton of articulation to it. Now, these are more like things I display on a shelf, and I'm sure most of you guys are the same way. I'll get them set up here. So, yeah, we don't have any leg articulation, just feet, the hands, and arms. We got decent arm and head, and, you know, head moves, but nothing at the legs, so I don't think this is technically an ultimate. But honestly, like, I think that's perfectly fine. Getting blue stuff all over me. Oh boy. Oh boy. Put his top hat on. Very, very cool. See, he stands up very well. He's got a gripping hand here. Love. So we can take that out if we want to. And I think I will, so he can hold his cane. Oh my gosh. Maybe. If I can get this hand out. And I'm ever since I broke that Super 7 Lion-O, I'm always nervous about stuff like this. There, we got it. Success. Oh my gosh. And success. I know that's riveting entertainment to watch me try to change out hands. My gosh. Put this in his hand, maybe. Got some chip blue paint here. That's never a good sign. All over my my hands and everything else. Put his hat back on. Man, that looks pretty cool. I'll leave this hand off to the side. I don't really need that now. That looks really cool. Like, that's one thing I'll say about NECA. Even if it's not the most articulated figure, like, man, it looks like Captain Spaulding. Like, this really looks like Sid Haig. Like, I mean, it's awesome. Like, man, I just dropped the game. My gosh. Not going my way, people. All right. I got blue stuff all over my hands. So I don't like, because I'm hoping this is not paint chipping off or whatever. But like I said, it really does look good. And, you know, I'm not playing with these figures. I'm simply displaying. So just having a couple of accessories. I don't hate this at all. I actually did pick this up on Amazon because I was like, did they ever make a Captain Spaulding Ultimate? Because NECA typically does different stuff. They do like clothed figures. I'm sure you've seen those. Or they actually have cloth good clothing. They do their Ultimates, which come in like the movie style boxes. And as you saw, that's not a movie style box. And then they do like Toonie Terrors, which are fun, but a little bit cartoony. And I know they've done Captain Spaulding in that. And I think they've done a clothed figure. But the crazy thing is, like, they'll do some figures in clothed and some not. Like, they've done, like the movie Hatchet is another movie I watched recently, which was really fun. They did him in the clothed figures. And they've done Candyman in the clothed figures, but not in the Ultimate. So I'm like, where's the Ultimate? Come on. Like, that's like a no-brainer. Get as many of these out as you can. Like, I think it's cool that they're doing a bunch of different Michael Myers and a bunch of different Freddys, but give us new characters, too. I think it's something about, like, they want to roll that stuff out slowly, but which I get, but at the same time, it's like, if you got the rights, make it happen, you know? I think sometimes, because there's nothing else in the space, they don't really worry about it. Wrestling, we're seeing that as a little bit different, right? Because these guys are signing with multiple companies. We've seen this now, if you follow the wrestling figures. Barry Horowitz, I know, had been signed to Zombie Sailor Toys. I assume that's still happening. I haven't heard different. But now we see that KWK has him and is going to put out 4 versions. And then not only that, we're seeing it looks like Epic Toys is possibly putting out a version as well. That's a lot of Barry Horowitz. So you have to ask yourself, how many Barry Horowitz do you need? And are you going to buy it from every company? Probably not, right? So definitely interesting. We'll see what happens with that. But I think with the horror stuff, not a lot of people in the space. You know, Trick or Treat's doing their thing and stuff like that. I know they have a Goosebumps line coming out, which if I can get my hands on those, I will buy all of those and definitely unbox them here on the channel. Huge Goosebumps fan. I would love to see NECA get a Goosebumps license. I would love that, as a matter of fact. But NECA also, like I said, they're doing Sesame Street. Like, I told myself I don't need that, but then I saw Bert and Ernie at Target, and I'm like, oh, man, maybe I do need those. Those are so cool. So it'll be interesting to see what happens. But Miss Captain Spaulding's fantastic. Like, I can't say enough good things about this. It is absolutely a phenomenal figure. And like I said, House of a Thousand Corpses, definitely a wild movie for sure. If you haven't seen it, be prepared. It's a wild ride, but it was a fun watch. I think it was either Rob Zombie's first movie or one of his first movies, which I'm a big fan. I actually liked his Halloween remake he did with a former pro wrestler, Tyler Mane, a.k.a. Big Sky. Check out Fall Brawl 1993. He's on the card. He also played Sabretooth in X-Men. Fun fact there. But no, I think this one's a lot of fun. And I just unboxed this figure the other day, which is the Super 7 Monkey, and so I got it set right up here, and then you can kind of see scale-wise, actually not too far off. Actually, Captain Spaulding, maybe with the hat, maybe a smidge taller, but definitely cool. And like I said, I got more horror figures lined up. I got a Dracula to unbox. I've got a Frankenstein to unbox. Michael Myers, Jason Voorhees, most of your heavy hitters. But yeah, more NECA figures hopefully coming up sooner rather than later, because they're a lot of fun, and we'll kind of create a whole new type of collection, because that's what I need, is another collection, right? But definitely fun stuff. Thank you guys for checking out the TV Toycast YouTube channel. Make sure to check out my other videos like Monkeyin over from Super 7. You can check that out in the archives. You can also check out, how about the Goon? Mattel Elite's The Goon. What a random figure, but so much fun. I've also unboxed Butch Doink, Bushwhacker Butch as Doink the Clown recently. That one was a really fun unboxing. How about Cobra Eel and Big Boa from the G.I. Joe Classified line? You can check both of those out in the archives as well. plus a ton of retros like the Grapplers and Gimmicks Kurt Fuller and Sensational Sherry, both available in the archives. Some DC Multiverse like Santa Batman, Godspeed, and Static Shock, also all available in the archives. And don't forget to check out the TB Toycast podcast. Every Thursday, me and Travis have a different main event, and we also talk about what's happening that week, whether it be news or fun happenings in the toy world. So check that out every Thursday wherever you get your podcast. And I mentioned it already, but a new video series I mentioned this, I think, on the last video, because I'm recording these all back to back. Shh, don't tell anyone. But a new video series will be coming up soon here on the channel. It may have already dropped by the time you hear this. I'm not sure when I'm going to drop it yet, but it's going to be totally different, and it's not going to be an unboxing. But when it drops, I think you guys will dig it. Something new and something fun. But that's all I got this week for another unboxing, this time in the world of NECA horror with Captain Spaulding. Very, very cool stuff. Thank you guys for checking out the TB Toycast YouTube channel. That's Captain Spaulding, and we will see you in the toy aisle.
Yeah. One more time. It ain't over till I say it's over. So lock the cage up, cause this is a takeover. The wait's over. If this the final time we meet, then you'll be on your back on my feet. Then I'll tip the cage over as a hangover. I'm super fly so I can splash off the top. And I can shut down the shot.